Hello everyone, welcome on in. It's time to finish up some doors. You guys ready to finish up this shit? The last time we left off in room Q, which was stark white. I don't know why. We'll find out. Not sure how we're gonna do puzzles in this, but I'm sure we'll figure out a way to puzzle, I guess. It's quite puzzling, one could say. What the hell? There's nothing here. Yeah.
Well, there are doors.
Uh-huh.
The one we came in. And that one, which I'm assuming is the exit.
That's a fair assumption. Yep, figures. Won't budge.
The plaque on the door just said Q.
I love that the walls are stark white, and yet Fee's white hair is still a more whiter white. That's impressive. Q. What the hell's that supposed to mean? 9. Yeah. I understand you, Tenmyoji.
Really? Now someone's just being a smartass.
Uh-huh.
Huh?
Nothing. Maybe the Q is for question.
Well, I guess it is a very questionable room.
If there was a deck of cards here, maybe the Q would be for Queen.
And that's a quality guess right there. The silence is so loud.
Right. Well, we need to get out of here. Let's find a way to get the door open.
We also need to find the star keys. I've got enough BP to open the door. But you guys need to play the AB game some more.
Yeah.
We still need a few more points.
If we can get those star keys, we should be able to play the AB game as many times as we need to. So...
It's just a matter of time until we get the points we need.
right.
Well, let's get started then.
Good.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, what are we supposed to do here? The room's empty. Wait, do you hear something? Huh? Well, how much do you want to bet it has something to do with that? I guess we should go, have a look. I think this cube is just floating here. How the hell's it doing that? Who knows? Can't tell just by looking at it. Why don't you touch it and see if anything happens? Is this Sudoku? Or is it Minesweeper? It might be a good idea to write all of these numbers down so I know what's going on, huh? Sudoku would have been too easy, yeah. It would have been fair game too, though, given the final room in 999. God, how many are here? It's 3, 6, 7 by 7. Alright. Making me wish I had grid paper. I was about to go to my undo command on my piece of paper. For reasons that should be obvious, that didn't work out. I'm expecting a lot of zeros. Yeah. I'm sensing a trend. Okay. Well, I have that all written down. I don't understand what's going on here. Have another look at it. Huh? The cube. Look at it again. There are winning and losing panels on the wall. The cube can help you find the winning panels. When the winning panels and only the winning panels are highlighted in cyan, the system will activate. Here's how to find the winning panels. When you click a panel on the cube, it will display a number. Each surrounding panel will also display a number. This number indicates the number of winning panels on that border each panel. Okay. For example... 001, 0011. Menus. Okay. Got it. Kind of. Not really. But it's effectively Minesweeper, though. Okay. Except for instead of bombs, it's winning panels. Note 1. The hint that appears on the cube is different for each side. Of course it does. Hypothetically, if the exit is the north wall, then the wall to the right of that would be the east wall, which would make the wall with the entrance the south wall, and the wall to the left of that would be the west wall. That would mean that a hint that appears on the west side would actually refer to the east wall, a hint that appears on the north side would actually refer to the south wall, and a hint that appears on the east side will refer to the west wall, because of course, this can't be simple. Okay, so hypothetically, I'm gonna draw a fucking compass. The exit is the north wall. Exit is north. Okay. And then the wall with the entrance is south. So a hint that appears on the west side would actually refer to the east wall. Hint that appears on the north side would refer to the south wall. I'm a little confused, but whatever. Note 2. Adjacent walls don't provide hints for one another. Each hint is specific to that wall. That means that even if there are winning panels on the border with an adjacent wall, those panels will not be reflected in the initial panel's numbers. Got it. Note 3. There are a total of 8 puzzles hidden in the walls. Click the floor to view this message one more time. After that, it'll be gone forever. Cool. How do I know which wall this is, though? But it does mean, like, every panel that doesn't have a 1 is then the winning panels for whatever wall this is. Problem is I don't know what wall it is. Okay. Whoa, what the hell? Interesting. So that's how this one works. Okay, so I kinda get it. So, like, the cube, like, the wall that you are facing is the wall that it solves, which does make it kind of the opposite. So, because it's the south side of the cube, but it solved the north. Okay. It looks like there are more of them. We should keep looking. Okay. Okay, I got the rules, fortunately. I don't feel like making another 7x7 grid. Time to use color, a different color, I guess. Okay, so... I will only change where there's numbers, because if it's already 0, no much point. So that means... But then also... here. Okay, so that's why there was more to that puzzle. Man, the puzzles are hidden in the walls. No. I still hate the navigation for this game. I'm actually not sure how this is supposed to work. It's like Minesweeper, except for instead of bombs, it's winning panels. Okay. No. Okay, I think I messed up that one. Okay. 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 Got it. Aha. Yeah, so only this wall left. 4. There's a lot in this one. Oh boy. Man, there's a lot on this one. Let's see. Let's see if I have a brain cell in my head today. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, there's one. Okay. That should be all the puzzles on the wall. Now we have a shit ton of puzzles to do. Roll the 6 dice to move them to where they need to go. The direction of each side of the die must match a specific pattern. Choose which die you'd like to move by clicking it. You can roll it vertically or horizontally by clicking and dragging. I hate this. Okay, let's give it a shot. I don't want to. I don't even know what I need to do with this. Huh. I can't figure it out. I just don't know what to do with that one yet. Are those missiles? They're darts. Look over here. I think that's a green memory card. We can't get it out though. That glass is covering it. I think we can get some darts out though. Okay. I'll grab a couple. Darts. Which I imagine we use with the dartboard. Looks like this is the scoreboard for the dartboard. It's a dartboard. I remember seeing this before. Come on, who hasn't seen a dartboard before? No, that's not what I mean. I feel like I've seen it somewhere in this building before. It's just, this board is different from a normal dartboard, you know? Let's try it out. What do you mean, try it out? Isn't that obvious? There's only 2 ways to use a dartboard. Either you use it to hold pizza, or you throw darts at it. You got some darts, don't you, Sigma? Maybe you could try throwing them. Get a score of 100 with 3 darts. However, the first dart must land in the green area, and the second in the blue area, and the third in the red area. Okay. To throw a dart in a particular area, drag then release the dart on the area where you'd like it to land. Huh? That's weird. I could have sworn I've seen these darts before somewhere. Whatever. It's time for some darts. Okay, so I need to make it equal 100. Which means I have to do math. Let's get the memo out here. Let's clear this, yes. Okay, so first we need to land... Oh no, there's math in this game? I know, right? It's horrendous. Counting is hard, I know. I have to figure out how these numbers can add to 100 with just 3 of them. I think that's the problem. Or actually, does further in count left for more points? Yes, it does. Okay. I hate when math. Okay. You math? Yes, you do. In that case, Catman, can you figure out which of these ones end up adding to 100? I need to start with green, blue second, then red. I need one of each color, I guess. Is the important thing. And they need to add up to 100. 33, 24, 11? No? No, that wouldn't work. I appreciate the enthusiasm. Let me see if I do have the notes on the last dartboard, and if it's comprehensible. That would be a catch. 39, 33, 28, I'll try it. 39, what's that one? 33. No, not that. 33, not quite yet. 28 was... Where's 28? 28's there. 28. Yay! Thank you, Aeon. Team effort. Ha! Piece of cake. Not sure about that, Sigma. You see that? My dart skills are undeniable. Yes, I saw it quite clearly. It was very nice. Do you think you had to stand the whole 2 meters and 37 centimeters away from the dartboard, though? I'm a fair man. My high school voted me most likely to be a judge, you know? Okay. And that's great and all, but look. See the display case? It's open. Great. Now we can get that green memory card. We're gonna have to put it all out the stops on this job. You sound like you're in a heist movie. Should I have worn a catsuit? Ugh. I think I just threw up a little. Besides, everybody in a heist movie wears a sweet suit. I think I've seen something like this before. No, you mean one of those exercise machines where you twist your hips around? No, I don't think so. This doesn't look like a fitness machine to me. Kinda ruins it when you take it so seriously. This is... Damn it. I can't remember. Yes, Sigma's name is Sigma. The playable character, his name is Sigma. Don't be jealous now. Man, I wonder if this thing that says dice might have something to do with the dice. It looks like 4 purple books. Let's go through each one of them. What the? There's nothing written here. Huh? I mean, all the pages are blank. Are the other books the same? Let's have a look. Yeah, there's nothing here. And this one's blank too. Huh? Something wrong? Is there something in that one? No, the pages are all blank. It's just what? Well, there's some pictures put in between the pages back here. 3 of them, it looks like... You found a picture of a blue dice, a picture of a green dice, and a picture of a red dice. You can review them by visiting the archive. Ah, I see. Oh, this means position's gonna fucking matter, isn't it? No. Okay, well, time to draw some fucking dice, I guess. I hate this game. I don't want to be here anymore. No, I'm good. Am I? I think these puzzles are gonna take me out, frankly. Okay, seems like all the dice need to, like, be all cutely executed together. However, comma. Man. Oh, I see. What the heck is this ridiculously huge thing? There's a screen down here. It looks like this is the only part you can actually interact with. But it's dark. There's nothing on it. And there's some card slots underneath the screen. And they look just like the ones on the pulling machines in the AB rooms. So that means... we need to put some memory cards in here, right? Yeah, like the one you've got in your hand right now. This green card, huh? Well, let's see if anything happens when I put it into the green slot. Not in particular, but it's there now. I'm ignoring the dice. Fine, actually I'll deal with the dice. Get it out of the way. Roll the 6 dice. I hate it here, dude. Well, I'll come back to this puzzle in particular. Fuck that. Shit. Okay, that has a thing. Change the colors to the correct ones by clicking the hexagons and the triangles. Remember that you only have 5 moves to complete this puzzle. Huh. I feel like I've done this puzzle somewhere before. Ah, well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Or no, that's exactly how it starts. Now what's the answer? What? Not every day you see I'm not even sure what to call this, a cabinet. Not every day you see a cabinet like this. It looks like each of these cubbies has something in it. The one on the left looks like a binder. And on the right, it looks like you've got a red memory card. You can't get to them though, they've got glass doors. Punch through them. Alright, here goes. Don't. This is reinforced by glass. This is reinforced glass. The only thing you're going to break is your hand. Okay. Did I solve it? Yeah, that must be the answer. Look. And the glass doors. And they're open. Well done. That was some good work, Sigma. It's a binder. Let's have a look. And there's only a single piece of paper in here. It says Q Chamber Special AB Game. Yeah, found instructions for the Q Chambers AB game. You can review it by visiting the archive. Concerned, but okay. This red card, huh? Well, let's see if anything happens when I put it into the red slot. Hints for the AB Game Q edition. 3 people will definitely choose Ally. 3 people will definitely choose Betray. One is Mysterious Mirror Man, who will always do whatever his opponent does. First answer, strive for 9 with 6 operators. Second answer, we must be the only ones to surpass 9. Interesting. There's still so many darts. Anyways, back to suffering with the fucking dice, I guess. Is there some, like, cheap way to deal with the dice? It's like, oh yeah, turn them this way, then turn them that way. Because I got the idea, but fuck the controls for the dice. Like, thoroughly. Okay, there does seem to be a way. Once you realize the dice have to be exactly as they are in the picture, so not just with the number on top, I'm not sure why people have such trouble with it. Because it's freaking annoying to get the dice to face the right way. Yes, exactly. Okay. Because I got the idea. I don't feel bad about looking up what to do. If you guys have a problem with this, then you can complain to your mother, because I don't care. I'm not gonna lose my mind just because of bad game mechanic. I feel like it would be more tolerable with better controls, but as it stands, controls have always sucked complete ass. Yeah, like, it's always more specifically with the, like, there's been a lot of bullshit in this game, not gonna fucking lie, but the dice drive me insane. Fuck this shit. Relix, why didn't you warn me that there was gonna be more? Why didn't you warn me? That's the ultimate betrayal. Relix didn't warn me. I'm sure this is a nightmare on the 3DS. I feel like it could possibly be a little bit better just because touch controls... I guess that's only so much different than dragging it, though. Who knows, man? Oh no, the PlayStation 1 freaking sucks. I didn't even know that this game came out for the PlayStation, not gonna lie. Maybe not. Okay, let's do this in the order that they have it. Okay, so blue 6. Left, down. Down, down. Left. Okay. red 6. Right, down, down, down. No, get back. Okay. Man, I have a guide for where I need to move it, and the fucking dice still suck. Anyways. Okay, down. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Blue 2, down. Left, up. Left. Or right, rather. Up. No, up. Right. Thank you. Red 5. Right, right, down, left, left. Then you. This bitch. God. Ha! Got it. I had a feeling you could do it. Good job. Have a look at this. Hey, it opened. Fuck these dice. I'm not gonna miss that puzzle ever. This blue card, huh? Well, let's see if anything happens when I put it into the blue slot. Would you look at that? Looks like you turned it on. Us, A, and B are all pairs consisting of 2 people. C, D, and E are solos consisting of a single person. First, move the pairs A and B to the blank areas on the left under pair. Next, move solo C, D, and E to the blank areas on the left over solo. You can move them by sliding the letter icons. A pair and a solo aligned vertically with verses between them will face off against another in the AB game. You can still move icons even after you've placed them. Once an opponent has been selected, the game will begin. Choose the button for the Us pair, either Ally or Betray. The results of your match will be displayed, along with the results from the other teams. If the correct number of people reach the target BP after playing 3 rounds, the game will be completed. Okay, and let's go look at the thingy again. Okay, first answer, strive for 9 with 6 cooperators. Second answer, who must be the only ones to surpass 9. I think the second answer might be the easiest to get. I guess I need to pay attention to all their habits, so let's just chuck it in and see what happens. Let's start with an ally. Okay. No, come back. I don't want to do math to figure out what happened. It's so much easier when it's spelled out for me. Okay, so... we allied with C and C allied. The others betrayed. Okay, so A and E consistently betray, but the others seem to ally. Okay. At least for that first round. So if you put A with E, will they still betray each other? Maybe. And then if we pair ourselves with C again, so we still get more points, and then B and D will probably ally as well. Let's see. Yeah, they betrayed each other. Okay, so A and E seem to consistently betray each other. At least for this round. If we pair with C again, then we'll get 9. We won't be the only ones with 9 unless we betray. Yeah, I think that might be the move to make. To get that one condition. So, A and E together, and then B and D. And this time we betray. Damn it, they betrayed us too. Fuck. That was going so well until it didn't. Okay. So it seems... okay, seems C will change their vote depending on what we... let's start with D with us, D with C. Because I think I'm getting the hang of the behaviors. And let's betray. Does D... okay. So it seems like D always allies. And then C does whatever we do, and then A and E always betray, and B always allies as well. That's what I'm getting here, so... And then now, this should get us set up too. Because now it doesn't matter what we do. Cool, so we got one of the unlocks. We're with only one with 9. Nice one. Now we have the safe, well, the file password. Let's go. File password. I knew it. And that looks like a password to the safe. And we did it. And this should get us into that safe. Okay, now to do the other one. Strive for 9 with 6 cooperators. What does that mean? Does that mean get more than... Okay, I think it does mean exactly what I think it means. I think it finds a way to get everyone to 9. That's impossible because A and E always vote betray. There's no way to get them to 9. That's why it's specifically 6 people. There are 6 cooperators. Yeah. There we go. Ha! Got it. Way to go. Good work. Hey, look, the screen changed color. So, would this be... Could this be... Should this be... No. These are different symbols now in different places. Yes. I'm very used to this, guys. Don't worry about it. Yay. It's green, huh? There's nothing on it. And it doesn't do anything when I touch it. How do we turn it on? Hell if I know. I don't see a button or card slot or anything. Not a lot we could do if we can't turn it on. Might as well leave it alone for now. For now. The same as if we've seen in the other rooms. And that means we probably opened it the same way too. We just need to plug in the password, right? Yeah. Why don't you give it a shot? Okay, file password first. Good job. You opened it. Well done. Last set of secret info. Oh, wait. Minkowski space. A way of describing reality that adds a 4th dimension of time to the 3 dimensions of space. It was described by German mathematician Hermann Minkowski, and therefore bears his name. It also the name of a ski resort for miniature cows. Minkowski. I see. Lagomorph. The scientific name for the order to which rabbits belong, and 0 to 3's actual name. Okay. Temioji and Alice. When they were split up at the red, blue, and green chromatic doors, Temioji told Alice there was something he had to tell her. That something, of course, his identity, and that he already knew all about Alice and Ice 9, and not because he heard about it from Clover. Temioji and Clover. After the second round of the AB game, after going through the purple and green doors, Clover, as a solo, was heard to say the following to Temioji, her opponent. What the heck did you mean with all that? It's not fair. If you're telling the truth, then I... And what had Temioji said to her? The same thing he'd meant to say to Alice, of course. He told her who he was. That simple fact shook Clover's resolve and made her vote ally. probably hadn't been his original intention to betray her, but thinking about Quark's safety, he probably felt he had no choice and picked betray. AB project. A could stand for after and B for before, but they can also stand for anima and body. Everything that happened in this facility was part of the AB project. Interesting. The mystery of Fee. So, who was Fee? There are a few clues scattered throughout the story, but nothing conclusive. Perhaps the truth will be revealed at the Nevada test site. Deactivation passwords. Here's a little something more about the bomb deactivation passwords. Those passwords, they aren't just gibberish. There's something hidden in each one. I can only give you one hint. +1. Good luck. And there are also a lot more to the story, but I think we'll stop the secret archives here. Thank you for playing, and we hope you enjoyed the game. Now I'm curious, but I'm too lazy to do anything about that. Okay, next one. Oh, more Accelavir. Yes, it's open. Okay then. Let's see what's in here. First off, 2-star key cards. We can use these to play the AB game as many times as we want. Hold on. Those keys are important, but... Look at this. Accelavir. The Radical 6 cure. Oh, thank goodness. I don't know what to say. Quark is going to be okay. Oh, I guess they didn't get to Accelavir in this timeline, huh? Is he crying? Alright, let's get out of here. We need to get this stuff to Quark and Alice. Yeah, you're right. This key should do the trick. Right, because both Quark and Alice are still unconscious with Soparil. Let's get moving. Oh boy. The door's locked. It says lock. You guys ready? All set here. Go for it. Alright. There. 3, 2, 1. 2, 3. Stop that! Jeez. One more time. 3, 2, 1.
Huh. It opened.
We should get back to the Flore warehouse then.
Hey, wait. Did you guys hear something?
What?
You didn't hear it? It came from over there. It sounded like something turning on. See? I told you. The screen wasn't on before.
You're right. Guess it was set to turn on when we opened the door.
It looks like an authentication screen. I think we need to put in an ID and a password.
Where's my note? Unlike Sigma, I don't have perfect memory.
Yeah, but what?
It's okay, I got this. Let me add it. That was when I noticed the illustration. The lion is eating the sun. The lion is eating the sun. The lion is eating the... Memento Mori. Remember death. If the 9th lion ate the sun. Oh, of course. This was the real 9th lion. But if that was the case... Memento Mori over the body. Remember death. Radical 6 notice. Memento Mori. Remember death. Memento Mori. Remember. I hope it's the same password and notes from the Luna ending, because otherwise I got nothing. No? Okay. I'm just gonna look it up. I wouldn't have guessed it. I didn't have that noted down. Probably should have,
Sigma.
but...
Look!
You're...
Akane. Her name is Akane Kurashiki. I've been looking for her for a very long time.
He walked toward her. Slowly, carefully, almost as if he was afraid of scaring her away. He reached out.
She's a hologram.
Tamioji squeezed his eyes shut.
Akane.
He closed his hand around the empty air and let it fall to the side. There was a moment of sad silence, and then she began to speak.
I see you finally arrived. I've been waiting for you. Well, I suppose that's slightly inaccurate. What you see now is a holographic message I recorded before you came here. Unfortunately, this means I will not be able to answer your questions, at least not directly. I hope you will understand. Now, where to begin? You probably have a great many questions. What day is it? Where are we? Who is Zero? And what does he have to do with Akane Kurashiki? But I imagine there is one question that rises above all the others. Why were we brought here? The answer to that is simple.
Is it now?
Everything that has happened here is part of our plan. All of this was required for the success of the AB project. I assume you heard the name by now, at least. In any event, you were all needed in order to execute our plan. The nonary game was necessary for the same reason. Your question now, I imagine, is just what is this AB project? The answer to that is also simple.
Is it now?
Allow me to explain. We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of two people into the past. Those two people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi.
Why am I not surprised? What do you mean, the past? The moment the words were out of my mouth, I realized no one there could answer the question. Not Fi, not Tamioji, and certainly not a pre-recorded hologram.
Have you figured out what this room is? I assume you saw the Q on the door. It stands for quantum.
Of course it does. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I knew that. Uh-huh.
That makes this the quantum room.
It took me a moment to realize she'd changed subjects without even pausing. There was nothing we could do, of course, but I still felt a twinge of frustration.
Take a look at the rear of the room. Do you see that large enclosure? That houses our quantum computer. The systems that control this entire facility run on that machine. That includes the construct you refer to as Zero Jr., as well as the golems. All of them do their thinking in that box. Isn't that strange, though? It seems contrary to how we perceive the world. The body, the thing that you see and interact with, is somewhere else. But the mind and all its thoughts are in this box. Perhaps it isn't so strange, though. Perhaps humans are the same, with our minds and thoughts existing separate from our bodies. Our core is in our head, of course. We all have individual brains, think individual thoughts, and act according to individual wills. That makes communication difficult, though. So, we're forced to rely on inefficient mediums, like language, photographs, non-verbal cues, etc., to transmit information. Each one of us is an individual, and we have no direct connection to anyone else. But is that really true? In the dimensions we are most familiar with, yes, it is. If we look at things from another higher dimension, however, we may all be connected after all.
The morphogenic field.
Like the branches of a tree, or a rhizome.
What the fuck is a rhizome? Akane, I'm too stupid for this shit.
Imagine a horizontal cross-section of the root system of a large tree.
Uh-huh.
All you can see are the spots where the roots intersect the plane of your cross-section. In the 2 dimensions you see, the roots all appear to be individual things with no connection to one another. But this isn't the case. If you expand your view and look at the root system in 3 dimensions instead of only 2, you see the truth. All the roots join together at the trunk. In 2 dimensions, they appear to be separate. But if you look at the roots from a 3rd higher dimension, you see things that might appear to be separate from one another in 3 dimensions could be connected to one another if you look at them in 4 dimensions. Doesn't that at least seem like it could be a possibility? I believe that is how human consciousness actually works. Well, I'm not the only one, I suppose. Zero and I share that belief.
Morphogenetic field theory.
Tomiyoji mumbled something that sounded like nonsense. I opened my mouth to ask him what it meant, but Akane was already talking again.
Now, when I talk about a 4th dimension, I'm referring to the 4th dimension used in Minkowski space-time. Let's start with a single dimension, where all that exists is a point. Connect points to one another, and you have a line. In 1 dimension, the only surface you can create is that, a line. But move to 2 dimensions and create more lines, and you can create shapes. These are 2-dimensional surfaces. Move up to 3 dimensions, and you can connect these shapes to one another and form 3-dimensional objects. Now you have a 3-dimensional surface, which encompasses a volume of space. Connect 3-dimensional objects to one another, and you formed a 4-dimensional object, which encompasses a volume of both space and time. It is on that 4th dimensional axis that our minds are connected. If that was true, then what would prevent anyone from sending their consciousness backward or forward in time? That theory is the foundation of the AB project. The A represents after, and the B represents before. It probably sounds silly to you.
I mean, a little bit.
A ridiculous story made up by a mad old woman.
A little bit, but...
But look at what's happened to you. You've seen many different worlds and timelines, haven't you, Sigma? And what about you, Phi? I know you have too. Am I wrong? Tenmyoji should know what I'm talking about as well. I believe you experienced something very similar nearly half a century ago. You sent your consciousness to the past to help save a little girl's life.
Wait, hold on a sec. Nearly half a century ago? Nearly 50 years ago. The fuck? Like, I know he's old, but damn, dude.
It was a long time ago, but perhaps you still remember.
Yeah, of course I do. How could I forget?
He says, as if Akane can hear him. Okay, I knew there was a time skip, but yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. Like, Spooky and I talked about this before, per se, like, the date range for, like, how much of a skip could be, like, not that much, but also a lot, because they are very obviously old. So, like, in that aspect, 50 years-ish doesn't sound that far out there, but, like, that means Clover's been frozen for, like, half a century, too. That's kind of insane. And then, like, why? Which I guess we're getting into, but, like...
That little girl was you, Akane.
My guy's pushing 90. Or he's in his 80s. Kind of depends on how old he was during 999, but I think he was in his, like, mid to late 20s. Or maybe early 20s, even. I don't remember. Suddenly it felt like Fia and I were outsiders, trespassing on something we had no right to see. Demioji's face was taut with emotion as he looked into Akane's eyes. It seemed almost like she was looking back at him.
Now, unfortunately, my time is up. The final stage of the project will begin very soon.
Oh boy.
I need to go prepare.
This is gonna be Sudoku again, Akane.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story.
But you're dead.
So come and find me.
But you're dead.
I'll be waiting. One last thing. The cat in the box. Is it alive? Or is it dead?
Currently dead.
Sigma. Phi. You will decide its fate.
Oh boy.
Goodbye.
Wait! Akane, wait!
Oh, Tenmyoji. I can almost see you. You don't need to worry. Everything is going to be okay. I will see you again one day. I promise. But I'm going to have to ask you to wait just a little longer.
Wait! Akane!
And then she was gone. Temioji collapsed to his knees, his back hunched and shaking. I saw tears land on the white-knuckled fists he pressed against his thighs. I kept quiet. What was there to say? Fia and I looked at one another and nodded silently. With a shaking hand, Temioji pulled a photograph out of his pocket. It was a picture of a girl. After all of that we'd been through, her smile was enough to break your heart. Man. We made our way to the warehouse on Flore and met up with the others. It took only a few minutes to decide to head to the infirmary. As soon as we arrived, we began to treat Alice and Quark for Radical 6. I gave Luna the Accelavir that I'd found in the queue room. She quickly prepared it and... injected Alice and Quark.
Thank goodness. It will take some time for them to recover completely, but they should be fine.
Good.
Indeed.
Thank you, Luna. And thanks for finding the medicine, you guys. Thank you so much.
Don't sweat it.
No need to thank us.
Temioji said nothing, just walked over to Quark's unconscious body. He took the small boy's hand in his own and held it tight. I could sense tears in the corners of his eyes. Oh, she turned away from us. Suddenly, I remembered. Dio. Where had he gone? It didn't take me long to find him. He was sprawled, unconscious, on the floor beneath the sink. Handcuffs.
Oh, we found those in the crew quarters. Before you returned, we went to check on the bomb in room 2, and we found them there. Of course, the bomb was indeed turned off. Thank you again for dealing with them. You are, quite literally, lifesavers.
I mean...
You have my eternal gratitude.
I coughed awkwardly and looked pointedly around the room. I glanced over at Fee to see she was doing the same thing. It's kind of funny. After that, we headed back to the Floor A warehouse to play the AB game. Specifically me, Fee, Kay, and Luna. Clover and Temioji decided to remain in the infirmary, just in case something happened with Alice, Quark, or Dio. Luna would represent Clover's team. With Quark and Dio sleeping, Kay would represent their team by default, which left me, Fee, and Temioji. You should vote.
No, I'll let you handle it. I chose Betray in the last round. You probably don't trust me right now.
What? That doesn't matter now.
Excuse me. I apologize for interrupting, but I think you should be the one to vote in the next round fight.
Why?
You already have 9 BP. There's no reason for you to choose Betray now. You see?
Hey, you're acting like I might actually try and betray her.
Not necessarily.
What does it matter what he's suggesting? We're almost there. We just have to play the AB game 3 more times. Then we can all get 9 points. But that means each representative has to choose ally all 3 times.
Okay, I'll vote. You sure you're alright with this, Sigma?
Yeah. I trust you. I handed her the star key.
Shall we open the doors?
An ambidex gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until ambidex game polling closes.
Oh, right. We have to wait for the deadline.
You do? Oh, cat ears, okay. Hopefully this doesn't do anything in game, I don't remember if it does.
Oh. Well, we could vote earlier.
Did cat ears work?
But then each voter would be stuck inside the AB room for 45 minutes.
Fuck you, Relix. I know why you're giggling.
Okay, let's go back to the infirmary then.
I agree. Please, lead the way.
Luna and Kay set off toward the yellow door. I was about to follow when...
Hold on. I just remembered something.
What?
The AB room on the left. In one of the other histories, she...
Oh, yeah. You're right. Akane's body was in there. What does this mean? Why didn't we find her body this time?
Maybe because she wasn't murdered.
Wait, you mean we didn't find her body in this timeline? Dude, my brain's confuzzled. Oh well, you should know, there are no more dice puzzles. I would fucking hope so. But how? When did history change?
Do you remember what Akane said?
The cat in the box. Is it alive or is it dead?
I also thought that was one of the constants too, Spooky.
Sigma, Phi, you will decide
The Schrodinger's cat thing.
Exactly.
I wonder what she meant about us deciding its fate.
Perhaps she was saying her own fate wasn't decided yet.
Huh?
The history where she's alive and the history where she's murdered are both real right now.
What? No, that's impossible. I mean, do we have a body? I don't remember, because, like, even when it's in the infirmary, it's, like, in a section off from the other part that we're normally in. You've already opened the box. We opened the door to this AB room, and there was no body.
No, we haven't opened the box. We haven't found a body, but we haven't found her alive yet either. In other words, we haven't actually observed her. The hologram was a recording from before this game started.
The next time we meet, I can tell you the rest of the story. So come and find me. I'll be waiting.
Where was Akane now? Where was she waiting for us? Or what if she wasn't anywhere now? What if she was waiting for us in another timeline? Or what if she was waiting for us in the past? Was that even possible? If she was, what would that mean? To be continued. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Oh, fucking boy. I love that. I love when new destinations get added to the flowchart. That's a totally normal thing that happens in my flowchart. The fuck? So I guess we have to do that, then come back? Or no, that's definitely where that ends for now. Man. AB room passed. Scroll all the way up. You know, I already saw it. I was just seeing if there was anything else going on. Ugh. Ow. Ow, 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 ow. Damn it. Feels like my head's gonna explode. I can. Where the hell am I? Great question, buddy. It looks like an elevator, but...
No. This is one of the AB rooms.
Yeah, who the hell are you? And what the hell's an AB room?
Damn. I guess you did lose your memory after all.
Memory? Memory. I remember. Your fee. She grinned. When is this?
Check your bracelet.
It's a red pair. BP is 3.
Mine's the same.
Does this mean this is the beginning of the game? We've gone back to when we first woke up in the AB room?
No, not quite. I think we woke up a little earlier this time.
How do you know?
Push the buttons on the side of your bracelet.
2 hours, 15 minutes.
We didn't wake up this long before the primary doors opened last time. I think we're about an hour early.
Wait a minute. If you're right...
Yeah, Akane might still be alive. We got back before Dio killed her. I think.
Then...
Right. We're here for one reason.
To stop her from getting killed.
Exactly.
Let's move. We need to get out of here fast.
Don't need to tell me twice. Let's go.
You need to remember the password for the safe. We figured it out last time. Yep. I know it's in the archive. Fuck it, I'll just go in the archive. Oh, put this knife away. Right, prevention. Hello. Started. moon. There, it's open. Good work. Hurry up and grab the cracker. Cracker? Time. I meant key. How the hell? Just shut up and do it. Alright, let's just put this key in here. For God's sake, just do it already. No need to yell. Alright. Good. Looks like that worked. Ready, Fee? What do you think? I know. I don't need to ask every time, right? Then why the hell are you asking? Hurry up and... Right. I'm going. 10, 9, 8, 1. Done. Hey, you pushed the button. Bite me. You were taking too long. We're on a schedule here. Ugh. Fee and I climbed up through the hatch and out onto the top of the AB room. It took us only a moment to spot them. Akane. Behind her was Dio. He was moving quickly and quietly, a knife glinting in his right hand. Shit. There was no time to yell to her. I scrambled down from the top of the AB room. Fee wasn't following me. When I looked back, she was still standing on the roof. Fee, what the hell are you doing? Get down here and... Before I could finish, she moved. She ran across the roof, launched herself into the air. What the?
He's fine. Just unconscious.
I bent down and held my fingers in front of his mouth. He was still breathing.
I don't think he saw me. He probably has no idea what happened to him.
There was no time to yell at her. That's literally the fastest thing you could do, shy of shine a flashlight or whatever. Yeah, I thought that too, but you know. The guy went down like a sack of potatoes.
He had it coming.
I mean, yeah, but... I heard footsteps come to a stop right in front of us. I looked up.
So you came. I've been waiting for you. You're here to hear the rest, right?
Wait. Just wait a minute. What the hell is your deal? How can you be so calm? If we hadn't shown up just now, you'd...
Have been stabbed in the heart by this young man and died. Yes. Although, that reminds me, I haven't thanked you yet. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate you saving me.
What?
Hold on. How do you know about being stabbed by Dio? Are you an Esper too?
Yes, indeed I am. I am able to jump through time, just like you.
Then what the hell were you thinking? If you knew he was going to stab you, why were you going to let him do it?
Because I had to.
You what?
Think back.
No.
Why are you here?
Great question. No clue.
If I hadn't been killed by Dio, no one else would have been murdered. Consequently, your own abilities would never have manifested. I did explain, didn't I? The purpose of the AB project was to send the two of you to the past. Or your minds, at least. In order for that to happen, some death was necessary. When a human brain is faced with danger, its processing speed increases. Information is processed more quickly, and time almost seems to slow a few seconds can feel like an eternity. Unfortunately, that in itself isn't enough to send oneself through time. The amplitude of the consciousness is simply too small. In order to increase the amplitude, we need to slow down the brain before the increase happens.
The fuck is an amplitude?
It's a little like a slingshot.
Is it now?
You pull back on the rubber band and then let go. The potential energy you stored in the band is released and converted into kinetic energy. That's what fires the bullet out of the slingshot. Now, while a slingshot can only fire in one direction, your mind isn't similarly limited. When the bullet of your consciousness is fired from the slingshot of your brain, it travels past the three-dimensional world and into the four-dimensional one. From that perspective, time is no longer fixed. In other words, you can travel to the future, the past, whenever you like. Your consciousness has been released from the three-dimensional cage. In order for that to happen, I had to infect you with Radical 6.
Did you now? Whoa, what?
We're infected with Radical 6?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sigma? Luna should have told you about it in another timeline.
Are you sure? Infecting all of these people was such a horrible disease?
Every single one of you has been infected. Well, apart from Luna, of course. Unfortunately, it was necessary.
Still don't know why, but okay.
We needed to slow your minds in order to store up your potential energy.
Uh-huh.
Then we provided a dire situation that would accelerate your processing speed. The result is what you are now experiencing. Your consciousness now occupies four-dimensional space-time. Even that, however, wasn't enough. You had the ability to travel, but your memories could easily be lost during the trip. If the project was to succeed, you had to be able to retain everything you learned in each reality. That was the reason you were forced to jump so many times. With each jump, your ability to remember improved. Eventually, you would be able to retain everything.
I somehow thought this experiment was passed by an ethics board, right? Like, I'm just hoping there's at least a better motivation than whatever the fuck was Ace's excuse for his nonary game. Because I generally don't remember what his was. Like, the reason why he did it.
That is why we made you play the A-B game. That was why you had to select different chromatic doors. By forcing specific choices, we could cause you to make more jumps.
I get it. I think I finally understand. Well, okay. There are a lot of things I don't understand, but all of what you just told me makes sense. You did all of this so that Fee and I could jump through four-dimensional space with our memories intact. I think Ace's owner game was for his own sake, the hubris of man and all that. Yeah, I remembered it was his bad reason for all things being considered, but... Like, I remember it had something to do with his inability to remember faces, but I don't remember exactly the logic behind it. Right?
Yes.
But why did you need us to do that? People have died for this. I mean, let's count how many different ways people died. Murder, antimatter explosion, suicide. I've died. So has Fee. So have you. So why would you do all this? What does it matter that Fee and I jumped through time?
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. You are all destined to die. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
I already know all that. What I'm asking you is why? What is so goddamn important that it's worth all this?
Ah. I'm sure you'll figure it out eventually.
The fuck is that supposed to mean? Just tell us, Akane.
What? Just when is eventually?
In a future not very far from now.
Ah, so you're gonna push us out of this timeline and it's like, oh, there's more stuff. You can go to this now. Bullshit. That's not good enough. Why can't you tell us now? Instead of answering, Akane knelt down next to Dio and picked his knife up off the floor.
I'm going to keep this with me.
Don't change the subject. It would be kind of poetic for Akane and Zero to wind up doing an Onari game for admittedly silly reasons, especially after conducting one for understandable ones. Hurt people and all that. Yeah, I guess, but...
But it's almost time.
What are you talking about? We've got plenty of time.
No. In a few moments, you'll return to the original timeline.
What?
This is the way it has to be. Don't fight it. Logomorph.
Bunny.
Yes.
Logomorph?
You call him Zero Jr. His official designation is Logomorph. Logomorph, this is an order. Unlock my bracelet.
Compliance.
Now, everything is in place. I have put the bracelet onto Dio. All we have to do is place his body in the 5th AB room, the second one from the right.
You're on your own, buddy.
That's the one Quark is in, right?
Correct. I will move him.
Of course.
I will also put your bodies back into the 3rd AB room.
Just their bodies?
Once that's done, I will reset its puzzle to an unsolved state.
Why do you need to do all that?
To recreate the history that you remember. Your consciousness is about to leave your body and return to the future. Your body will be emptied, and your other consciousness will jump back in. If your bodies aren't back in the 3rd AB room by then, it would be bad.
So you're saying some version of us is going to wake up in that room and repeat the same history again? Well, I guess this could actually be our 2nd or 3rd time.
You are exactly correct. Lastly, I'm going to leave this with you.
She paused and pulled something out of her pocket. It was a small key attached to a string.
I'll tie it onto your ankle so that you won't lose it. All right, Sigma?
What's it say on there?
Tu fui ego eris.
Ah. I know exactly where that goes. To the god!
It's Latin. It means, what you are, I was. What I am, you will be.
Yes.
What am I supposed to do with it? Go to the garden. Unlock the grave.
It will help you meet someone who's very important.
Someone. What?
Go. Return to the future. You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you. Now hurry.
Wait. I still don't... yes, banished out of the history again. And a new distribution has been added to the flowchart. I never saw that coming after the first time that happened. Yep, back there. Man. This really just keeps going, doesn't it?
Oh, looks like you're awake.
Sucker, get dragged by your consciousness, me. As if the flowchart wasn't massive from the word go, right? Is this the infirmary?
Why are we here?
Do you know what happened at the AB gate?
Kay and I went back to the infirmary, but
We waited and waited, and the two of you never returned.
so we went to the warehouse to check on you.
We found you passed out in front of the AB rooms.
Kay and I hurried back here with you.
I looked over at Fee and met her eyes. Do you remember what happened just now?
You mean what happened a long time ago?
Yeah. You got him pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I remember all right.
Hey, what are you guys talking about?
Quark.
What am I? Chopped liver?
Yes. Alice.
Back among the conscious and not psychotic, huh?
Yeah, thanks. Grandpa told me what you did. Thanks for finding the medicine for us.
No problem. All in a day's work. Although, I wouldn't mind a little swimsuit action.
Really grabbing at straws here, aren't you?
Yes. Hey, I wasn't talking to Quark. Imagine if he was. That was an offer for Alice.
Not really my point.
Oh, whatever. Forget about that.
Thank you, Clover.
Now that you guys are awake, all we gotta do is open the number 9 door.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Look at your bracelet.
It says 10. I have 10 BP.
I've got 15 BP? That means I got 6 more points while I was out.
But how?
You've been asleep for more than 2 hours.
Noted.
We've played the AB game 3 times.
3 times?
Yes. Of course, the color and group assignments were shuffled around each time. But no matter who voted, everyone chose Ally. And now all of us have enough to leave.
I was stunned. How had everyone cooperated long enough to raise all of our BP past 9? Was it because Akane hadn't been killed? Without a death to start things off, maybe we'd been less suspicious of one another. Or could the bombs have had something to do with it? We'd all joined forces against Dio, and Fee and I had been able to disarm all of them. All of us had banded together against a common enemy and overcome a tremendous threat. Perhaps that had strengthened our bond. Which, I had to admit, would be somewhat ironic. After all, Dio had planted the bombs that forced us all to work together against him. This must have been what Akane was talking about.
Haven't I told you? Death was unavoidable. Sacrifices had to be made for the sake of the project.
Come on, let's go! Let's open the door and get out of here!
Wait. What about him? Yeah, what about him? After some discussion, we decided to leave Dio behind. Alice was the only holdout. She complained about wanting to take him back to her superiors, but after I mentioned they'd come back to investigate after we escaped and deal with Dio then, she reluctantly complied.
All right. Let's get going.
Everybody ready? I'm gonna open it.
Yes, just get on with it.
Everyone else swallowed and nodded. I grabbed the lever and pulled it down. Slow ass door.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain.
Alright, everybody, let's move. I didn't need to tell them twice. The room inside was clearly a loading elevator. It looked sort of like a large plate on top of a huge pedestal. We ran to the center of the plate and turned around. The number 9 door stood wide open.
2, 1, 0. The number 9 door is closing. The number 9 door has closed. This ends the nonary game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked.
Looks like we did it.
Yes. We should keep moving.
Beyond the door was a wide hallway that ended in a very solid wall. To the left we found a very familiar looking door. We pushed it open and went in. The pressure exchange chamber.
You know what this place is?
Yeah, sort of. This whole facility is pressurized, apparently. I think the idea is to keep the air outside, and consequently the virus from getting inside. That means that if we want to go out, we have to decompress so we match the outside air pressure. This room here is where you prepare for going into the actual pressure exchange room. You see all those suits along the wall? I figure we need to put those on and head to the decompression room downstairs.
Whoa! Hold on a minute! You're saying the air outside is full of that horrible virus?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. And of course, according to Akane, we were already infected with Radical 6, so the whole room seemed a little pointless.
Why? How did all this happen?
Did they...
No. That's not possible.
We've come this far. We can't turn back now. Let's go outside. There's no way to know what's really going on until we do.
True.
All right.
No one else objected. We all donned the protective suits and headed downstairs to the decompression room. As soon as we were all inside, the process began. Through my helmet, I could hear the soft hiss of air being sucked out of the room. We stood there for several minutes, waiting for the process to finish. At last it did, and we heard the door begin to open. Beyond it was another decompression chamber. We repeated the process 2 more times before we reached the final door and opened it. The dead, bleak landscape wasn't a surprise for me. I'd seen it before in another timeline. The others hadn't, however, and although I couldn't see their faces through the visors of their helmets, I heard more than a few gasps over the radio. For a few long moments, we just stood there, astonished.
Where the hell are we?
The desert, I guess?
I figured that out. I mean, which one?
I don't know, but I think I know what day it is.
Hmm?
Look at the moon. It's red, right? That means today's the total lunar eclipse.
So?
Remember the astronomy magazine in the lounge? Well, the next eclipse like this was gonna be on December 31st, 2028. So...
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. Are you suggesting we were sleeping for a week after we were abducted?
Yeah, sure, just a week, uh-huh.
I think so.
Wherever we were must have been far away from any city. The air was clearer than I'd ever seen it. And the stars, the sky was full of them, more stars than I'd ever seen in my life. I could even spot the hazy arm of the Milky Way. But the most striking feature was the moon. It was blood red and massive, much bigger in fact than I remembered it being. Busy week. Then, as I watched, a black spot began to move across the surface. It was hard to see details, but it looked circular. The spot continued to move across the moon, heading for the right edge. What's that?
The moon.
Thanks.
Well, the moon's shadow, actually.
The moon's shadow? I frowned. That didn't make any sense.
Zero told me to stay quiet. I think he was worried I'd spill the beans on his operation. He said if I didn't toe the line, he wouldn't just kill me. He'd kill Quark, too. And I agreed, like an idiot, and brought Quark with me. Just so I could see her. Such an idiot. So, that being the case, might as well start with this. I meant what I said before. That up there is the moon's shadow.
What the hell are you saying?
Think about it. If that's the moon's shadow, then what's it falling on?
That's Earth?
Yeah. It's not the red moon you get from a lunar eclipse. And again, this isn't a lunar eclipse. It's a solar eclipse. Anybody in the black spot down there is looking up at the moon, covering the sun.
What? No way. If that's the Earth, then where the hell are we?
The moon, of course. This is the lunar surface. We were just inside a moon base. No way. No, you've gotta be lying. How do you expect us to believe that? This can't be the moon.
Yeah. That's pretty ridiculous. Besides, if this was the moon, how do you explain the gravity? The moon only has 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. So what's this?
She picked up a rock and dropped it.
See? That looked perfectly normal.
Yes, it looked that way.
Luna?
You were right about the gravity in a way. I was one of the people who knew this wasn't Earth. Well, I suppose I'm not people, if we're being honest, but
Excuse me? What?
please just listen. Alice, you were infected with Radical 6. Then we gave you the Excelivir, which cured you. The Radical 6 isn't completely gone, though. Some of its symptoms stick around for a while.
What symptoms?
Well, Radical 6 can slow down your brain's processing speed by the root of 1/6.
Uh-huh.
It can take a while for your brain to get back up to speed. every one of us has been infected. In other words, all of our brains have been processing information at a much lower speed.
Well then.
If you evaluated the root of 1/6, you'll get a number close to 0.408. That means our brains are running at something slightly less than half speed. As you said before, the moon's gravity is about 1/6 that of Earth's. The time that it takes for an object to fall is inversely proportional to the square root of the gravitational acceleration. Since the gravity is lower on the moon, that means the time increases. I guess that's a little technical. Let me give you an example. Say you drop an apple from a height of 4.9 meters. It will take approximately 1 second to hit the ground. On the moon, however, that time would be 1 second times root 6, which would be approximately 2.45 seconds. I used 4.9 meters because it matches up with the acceleration of gravity nicely, but it could be anything. The gravity constant is, well, a constant. You could drop something from 10 centimeters or 10 meters and it would be the same. Does that make sense? So now we've established that on the moon, things fall root 6 times slower than they do on Earth. That being the case, what would happen if someone's brain slowed down by root 1/6? To them, 2.45 seconds would feel like 1 second. 4.9 seconds would feel like 2. But it's not hypothetical. That's what's been happening to every one of us.
Wait, you're saying that's the reason we didn't notice the weaker gravity?
Are you sure you didn't notice anything? Think back. Huh? You and Sigmund Phi said something about it in the lounge. About how you felt weird.
It's kind of like my body isn't really mine. I'm sort of floating. Like that.
It seemed insane, but what Luna said made sense. In fact, explained P's apparently superhuman strength quite well. Yeah, huh. I didn't even consider that. I love these flashbacks to just black screen.
Wait. This is crazy.
Uh-huh.
That can't possibly be Earth out there. Look at it. I've seen photos of Earth, and it's blue and green and beautiful. That thing is just red.
Before we get into that, I should probably tell you something.
Oh boy.
This isn't New Year's Eve in 2028. Today is January 27th.
29?
No.
Don't tell me. 30?
Still no.
39.
And just what year is this?
It's 74.
Damn.
2074.
Damn. No. That's insane. That would mean we were abducted more than 45 years ago.
I don't blame you if you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
How can you be sure?
It's not that hard. Quark and I left Earth on January 23rd, 2074. Solar eclipses are easy to predict. We've known that there'd be one on the 27th for a long time. That's just science. Nobody can change that.
But why is the Earth red?
That's a long story. About 45 years ago, on April 13th, 2029, there were 18 annihilation reactors operating in various parts of the world. On the 13th, all 18 of them went up, all at the same time.
That's nice.
The explosion was about 180,000 times as powerful as the atom bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
What? Why?
I suppose it started a few months before that. The government had a test site for a future Mars mission out in the middle of Nevada. On December 31st, 2028, there was an accident. Well, accident doesn't quite convey the right sense of the thing. The point is, Radical 6 claimed its first victims there, then escaped. Didn't take long for it to spread to the rest of the world. Like Luna explained, the virus slows your brain down. But eventually, it also makes you kill yourself. Pretty soon, the bodies started to pile up. Some people would take a dive off a building or shoot themselves in the head. You know, the classics. But for some, it was poison, or fire, or asphyxiation, or the noose. Plenty of people jumped in front of trains or cars. One pilot on a passenger airline drove his plane into the ground. Most forms of transportation ground to a halt pretty fast. That meant food couldn't get distributed, and thousands of people who weren't even infected died from starvation. Everywhere you went, there were just piles of corpses, covered in flies and rats and crows. I don't know what hell's like, but I imagine it's a lot like that. After a while, people who managed to avoid getting infected started trying to get in touch with one another. They got a hold of some radios and organized a couple meetings. There was only one thing to discuss, of course. How could they get rid of Radical 6? The answer, they decided, was purification. They figured they could just roast the surface of the Earth and that'd kill the virus off for good. On April 13th in 2029, they put their plan into effect. That plan was to detonate all 18 Annihilation reactors. Now the truth is, that's mostly just rumor. Nobody really knows what happened. But I've got my own theories. I think that the bombers had already been infected. And when they died, they took billions with them. The ultimate if I die, you're coming with me gesture, I suppose. I bet your money they'd all lost it long before they got to the reactors. Killing most of the world, no matter how bad things had gotten, was not a sane plan.
I mean, yeah.
Even if it wasn't directly responsible, Radical 6 killed most of the people on Earth. Anyway, why it happened isn't that important. Point is, it happened. You ever heard of nuclear winter? Well, that's basically what we got. The explosion threw a ton of crap up into the stratosphere, where it joined up with smoke and ash from all the fires. It blotted out the sun for 7 years. Plants withered and animals died by the millions. The few humans who were left banded together to survive. They were rough times. Eventually, they were over, though. The sky cleared and the sun came back. Plants started blooming again, and the animals that hadn't died out completely began to reappear. Things weren't quite back to normal, though. It's been 45 years now, but there's still quite a bit of dust and ash in the air. That's what you're seeing. You know why a sunset's red? Well, this is the same thing. Blue and green light have short wavelengths, and they scatter when they run into debris in the air. Red light, on the other hand, has a longer wavelength, which means it'll get a lot farther when the air's dirty. So there you are. The Earth looks red because that's the only color of light that can make it through the atmosphere.
I was speechless. What could I possibly say? There's no reason for Tenmyoji to lie to us. So we were standing on the moon, looking at the Earth. It was 2074. But why? Why were we there? Why were we then? I was so lost in thought, I barely noticed Fee's approach.
Hey, Sigma. I think I figured something out.
Did you know? A window popped up on the inside of my helmet with Whisper in the corner. She seemed to be using a circuit only we could hear. Yeah? What is it?
I figured out why there's an extra E.
An extra E? Oh, you mean the graffiti?
Yeah, the one on floor B. I think it's an anagram.
Uh-huh.
Just like on floor A.
Yeah, we went over that part already. What's Anna say this time?
God damn it, Sigma! Knock it off! Memento mori if the ninth lion ate the sun. If you rearrange the letters, you get... The man on the moon rules the infinite time.
How do you figure that out? Whatever.
See? You need 6 E's to get that. So they stuck an extra one in 9th.
The man on the moon rules in the infinite time.
I think it's a message for us from Zero Senior and Akane.
Uh-huh.
Remember what she was telling us?
We created the AB project for one purpose: to transport the consciousnesses of 2 people into the past. Those 2 people are you, Sigma, and you, Phi.
So, what are you getting at?
My god, you're slow.
Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing.
You don't get it?
Nope.
They're saying we rule the infinite time.
Ah.
Infinite time. They weren't just talking about having us jump a couple hours. I think they're planning to send us back. Way back.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you think they're going to send us back 45 years?
Yeah. I'd bet on it.
So the ultimate purpose of the AB project is to send us back in time to that catastrophe Tenmyoji was talking about?
I think so.
That doesn't make sense, though. I mean, we came from that same time period, before it actually. So why bring us here and then send us back?
Well, Akane should be able to tell us the rest. Let's go pay her a visit.
Do you know where she is?
I've got an idea.
Do you know? Do you want to share?
Come on, think.
No.
Remember what she said when she gave you the key?
Yes, the garden.
Tufui.
The grave. The one in the garden.
Well, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go.
You're not gonna check if you have the key on your ankle first? We turned and ran back into the pressure exchange chamber, the others following close behind.
What are you doing? Did you forget something?
We're going to go have a talk with somebody.
Who?
You really need me to spell it out? The person behind all this.
You mean Akane?
What?
I'll take that as a yes. Let me accompany you then.
Wait, why do you know about Akane?
I'll tell you when we get there. Now, if you please. I'm coming with you. You folks just said the magic word.
I'm going to then. So am I. Hey, is this Akane you're talking about?
Yeah, you know her real well.
Wait, you're serious? What the hell is going on?
Ah, shut up! Just shut up. Come if you want to. We don't need to do roll call. Once we get there, Akane can explain everything. With that, we headed back through the airlock. Guess I want to do roll call and see Akane.
Ah, clever. The number 9 door on floor A is shut forever once the game ends. Assuming Zero Jr. was telling the truth, of course. But the door on floor B...
Yeah. Thought we might be able to take the lift to it. And it looks like I was right.
Any idea where Akane might be?
Yeah, the grave.
You mean the grave in the garden?
Yeah. Don't worry. I don't think she's buried there or anything. Chances are she's alive. Just in the grave. Anyway, let's move. Tenmyoji's thoughts is like, where have I had an alive person in a coffin before? To the garden.
Is Akane really under here?
I think so.
What should we do? Are we gonna dig her out?
No, I don't think we'll have to do anything like that. You see the keyhole in the grave? If I just insert this here, I pulled the key off my ankle and fitted it into the hole. I toasted it to the right until I heard something unlock. With a quiet grinding, the grave began to shift.
What is this?
A coffin.
It doesn't look like a coffin.
No, not really. It's not the right shape. You're right.
Yeah. It's a treatment pod.
Oh my god.
It is, isn't it?
The glass on the cover had frosted over, making it opaque. We couldn't see who or what was in it.
Let's see what's inside.
She grabbed a hold of the lever on the side of the pod.
No good. I think it's locked.
What?
Treatment pod TP00. Stage 1 defrosting complete. Stage 2 will be complete in 10 minutes.
Get in the pod? No, we're trying to get someone out of the pod, Peachy. Well, come on in, though.
Once stage 2 is complete, the lock will automatically disengage.
Right, cold sleep.
What?
These pods could put people into cold sleep. It uses something called cast to freeze to human bodies without destroying their cells. Thank you for the daily offering. It was tasty.
So, Ms. Akane's like an ice cube?
I think so.
Then we gotta wait till she melts?
Yeah.
So how about you tell us your story while we wait, Kay? Specifically, why do you know Akane?
You see, she was the mother figure in my life.
I remembered.
What do you remember?
Everything.
Everything.
I mean, it was predictable, but...
I was born and raised in this facility. It's called Rhizome 9. A rhizome is an underground plant stem that spreads by sending out roots. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? This facility is a little like a rhizome. Supposedly, that's why they call these installations that. The number comes from the facility's number. There are 54 rhizomes on the moon, and this is the 9th one.
Of course that's the 9th one.
Well, I suppose the other ones don't really matter to you, do they? In any event, I grew up here with Akane and Zero Senior. I watched them create the AB project.
The AB project?
Yes. Its purpose is to send Phi and Sigma, or their consciousnesses at least, to the past.
Back 45 years, right?
Yes.
So, you want us to change history, huh? Go back and keep Radical 6 from getting out, and stop the reactors from exploding. That's our mission?
Well, not exactly.
What do you mean?
It's true that the ultimate goal of the project is to keep Radical 6 from spreading to the general population. But even if you do make it back, you won't be able to do much. By now, it's already too late.
Too late?
What do you mean?
Let me begin at the beginning. You might be thinking that Zero Senior and Akane were the ones who created all this. But that's not entirely correct. They only followed the histories they'd already seen. It was the only choice they had. Nothing less than the future of mankind is at stake. We need the two of you to jump through timelines while maintaining your memories. That is why you had to play the AB game, and why the chromatic doors were necessary. By forcing multiple options, you could make numerous jumps. We speculated that jumping more would strengthen your memories. The puzzles were also there for a purpose. Some theories hold that a moment of insight when you solve a puzzle strengthens your connection to the fourth dimension. That was the reason for the puzzles.
Right.
Your infection with Radical 6 was also a vital part of our plan. By slowing down your brain's processing speed, we can store your potential. With that energy stored up, we just had to provide a life or death situation to launch your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Like a bullet from a slingshot.
Where have I heard that metaphor
Wait.
before? No.
Hold on just a minute here. You keep talking about Sigma and Phi, but what about the rest of us? Why did you bring us here?
That's simple.
Is it now?
In earlier histories, you were all here in Rhizome 9. We needed you here to accurately replicate those histories. Although I suppose that's probably not a good enough explanation for you.
No, it's not.
In a sense, though, it is the truth. Our primary goal was to replicate history. The rest is...
Well, history.
Yes. I suppose I should explain.
Yes, please do.
Very well. I will try and do so in a way you can understand. First, Alice and Clover. They were abducted 45 years and 1 month ago, on December 22nd, 2028. The location is Earth, of course. More specifically, Los Angeles, California.
Los Angeles?
Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
After being kidnapped, your bodies were sent to a facility under Akane's direction.
Okay, shit's fucked. So true.
You were placed in treatment pods and immediately put into cold sleep. 4 months later, you arrived at this facility. The date you finally arrived was April 14th, 2029. Your trip from Earth to this facility was aboard a spaceship powered by an annihilation engine. Following your arrival, your pods were placed in long-term storage. Does that make sense?
Are you telling me we were sleeping in those pods here for 45 years?
Yes, in preparation for this day.
But why? What do you need us for?
You are an Esper, aren't you, Clover? I mean that you are able to access the fourth dimension.
The morphogenic field.
Am I wrong?
Did Akane tell you?
In a manner of speaking. As I've already explained, the purpose of this project is to send Sigma and Phi's consciousnesses to the past. Espers are able to sort of resonate with one another, which can amplify their power. You understand? This is why we brought you here, Clover.
What about me?
We needed your help, Alice, to deactivate Dio's bombs.
Huh? But I didn't do anything.
But you did. In another history, you were able to perform prime decomposition on the 25-digit integer that Dio left behind. Only you could do that sort of thing. Because of your feat of mathematics, we were about to determine that Dio had planted the bombs. Then we were able to question him and get the password for the number 31. Finally, we used that information to stop the bomb in this timeline. Without your help, Alice, we would have been reduced to nothing more than so much space dust. This history exists because of your presence. Now, let me explain why we needed Tenmyoji and Quark. And Tenmyoji is simple. We needed you for the same reason we needed Clover. You are able to access the fourth dimension. Almost half a century ago, you used that ability to save a young girl, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
We needed you to resonate with Sigma and Phi, so we brought you here. All it took was a messenger.
Do you want to see Akane? If you do, come with me. I was a fool and fell for it.
And you brought Quark with you. In fact, you insisted that he come.
Yeah, I know. I guess you were worried about leaving me alone, huh? He kept saying he couldn't run off to the moon and leave me behind.
I'm sorry, Quark. If I hadn't been so stupid and selfish, none of this would have happened to you. I never thought this would happen. Can you ever forgive me?
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I agreed to come with you. I thought the moon would be way more interesting than boring old Earth. What kid would turn that down?
You know what? Fair. Park is right.
We didn't see the messenger after we got on the ship. It was on autopilot. As soon as we got in, it headed straight for the moon. During the trip, Zero told me to keep quiet once we got there. I don't remember anything after we landed.
Then there was a bunch of that white smoke, and we passed out. And when I woke up, I was in the AB room.
Now, Dio. His real name is Left, and he's the leader of a terrorist organization called the Myrmidons. He was ordered to come here. The Myrmidons are under the control of an organization called Free the Soul, which is in turn controlled by a man known as Brother. It was Brother who orchestrated the release of Radical 6 into the general population 45 years ago. Do you remember what Phi mentioned earlier?
Left wasn't right, please.
The ultimate purpose of the AB project is to change history and keep Radical 6 from being released. If we succeed, that would be bad for Brother and his organization. Our success would prevent them from creating the ideal world they're working toward. That is why Brother sent Left, his trusted lieutenant, to this facility. They needed to stop the AB project. So, Dio was given 2 tasks. The first was to eliminate Akane, the architect of the AB project. The second was to join the AB game and win it. If Dio won the game, the AB project would not be completed, at least not in that timeline. In other words, in that world, the project would have been stopped. If things didn't go as planned, Dio was given a contingency plan. If you cannot murder Akane and win the game, destroy Rhizome 9. Hence, the bombs.
Can I ask you something?
Perhaps.
Okay, don't go be giving the same answer I would do type of shit.
How did Brother know about the AB project?
He was also an Esper.
Well then.
We can set Brother aside for now, though. May I proceed?
No one objected. We were all curious.
Excellent. That explains everyone, save 2. Luna and myself. Sigma and Phi already know the truth about Luna. I don't believe I should reveal any more, however. I think it would be more appropriate if you could ask Luna yourselves, at a later time. Would that be alright with you, Luna?
Yes, that's okay.
As for me, as I said before, I was born and raised here. The rest of you were brought to this facility, but I've never left. That makes me someone close to Zero Senior and Akane.
Yep.
Hey, I've been wondering, who is Zero Senior?
You've already met him, Sigma. In another timeline.
Yeah. Well, I saw a hologram. I still don't know who he is.
Stage 2 is complete. TP00 unlocking.
It looks like it's finished. Shall we open the pod?
Yeah, let's do it. All of us gathered around the pod. The glass was still covered with frost, hiding the contents.
Okay. Let's get started then. Ready?
It's either Akane or Zero Senior, though I think it's more likely Zero Senior just because of what Akane said. It's like, oh, you'll see someone there. We'll see, though. If you laid her hand on the lever and looked around at us, I swallowed. Yeah, anytime.
Alright, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
What? Suddenly, my head was full of memories from other timelines. I'd seen something like this before. The warehouse of Floor B. In front of the white door, Kay was lying in front of me, and grabbed his mask and saw my own face. I never figured out who he really was. Why was there a man with my face underneath Kay's armor? It didn't make sense. After I'd seen him, I was injected with tuberculine, and that was the end of that. But wait, if the person in the pod was the same person I'd seen on the floor of the warehouse, who was wearing Kay's armor?
You finally noticed. Didn't I tell you? You won't be alone. I will be at your side, watching over you.
No. What? Hello, Kay, are you... What? Oh my god, you're...
Yes, I am.
The fuck? I was not expecting that. I was surprised to see Stigma on the treatment pod, but Akane was Kay? That explains why...
Akane Kurashiki.
That explains why Kay all of a sudden knew Jack and fucking knew literally every... Akane.
It's you! June! I mean, Akane, from... But you're old.
Yes, that's correct. I haven't spoken to you in a very long time, Clover. Or you, Junpei.
Junpei?
I thought Tomoyoshi told you.
Akane. Long time no see.
I could barely hear what they were saying. My mind was still reeling. I felt like all the air had been knocked out of me, and it was all I could do to not collapse right then and there.
When? How long?
Do you remember when the two of you saved me in the warehouse? Once you saved me, you went back to your future. Well, your minds did, at least. I carried your bodies to the third AB room, and then took Dio's to the fifth. After that, I went into the first room and borrowed Kay's armor.
So by the time you and Clover came out, you'd already...
Yes.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Dio killed you, and then Luna took your body to the sixth room. You couldn't have been in Kay's armor.
No, it was me. In this timeline, at least.
Then what about the other timelines?
In this one, I wasn't murdered by Dio. You two saved me. It's just like Schrodinger's cat. Your actions in the future decided who would be inside the armor in the past.
What? No, that's nuts.
Alright, what about the other history? The one where you weren't saved. What happens then? Who's wearing the armor?
That's quite simple.
Is it now?
The man in front of you.
Him?
That's correct. Whenever I'm not in the armor, he is.
What about the memory loss?
For my part, I confess that I lied. He, on the other hand, was telling the truth. Large doses of Soporil can cause memory loss. I gave him a rather large dose.
Well then.
So, who is he?
You've never seen him before?
No.
What about the rest of you?
I have no idea who he is.
I've never seen him before.
Me either.
Total stranger.
Hey, come on. What are you guys saying? Right here? Same face?
Huh?
Are you alright, Mr. Sigma? Did you hit your head or something?
Huh? What? It didn't make any sense. Why didn't they recognize me?
Sigma, your consciousness can jump through time. You can inhabit your body in the past or in the future.
What does that mean?
Don't you get it? You've jumped to the future. From 45 years ago.
Exclamation mark. I looked around frantically. A pond. I ran to it and threw myself down onto my knees. Crawling on all fours, I approached the edge. My heart was hammering inside my chest. A cold sweat trickled down my spine. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down, damn it! I struggled to take deep breaths. Then slowly, I peered into the pond, looking for my reflection. What? Yeah, okay. No, this can't be real. This face.
It's your face, Dr. Sigma Climb.
Yeah. I noticed when I was editing last week's stream how when Luna was saying goodbye to Sigma, she said doctor. It's like, wait a minute.
Although, to the you that's behind it now, it's your face 45 years from now. Zero, the mastermind of the AB project, is you.
Yeah. I remember Spooky when I said I had a new hunch of who I thought was Zero, but I couldn't tell you because it wouldn't make sense with the information we learned in game. Yeah, I had a feeling it was Sigma because I knew he was actually older, though that information hadn't been revealed yet. So, here it is. What? No, that's not possible. That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth. Fighting it isn't going to do you any good. Please, Doctor.
I'm not a doctor. I didn't graduate yet.
You will be. A pioneer in the field of genetic engineering.
You're lying.
No, I'm not. You created him. Well, I suppose I should say you are going to create him.
Great.
His name is Kyle Climb, your clone.
And that's why K is the name, because Kyle.
That is why he looks just like a younger version of yourself. 23 years ago, in the biolab here in Rhizome 9, you created Kyle. Well, I suppose for you, that's still in the future. When I said I was born and raised here, I was still pretending to be him. The gravity here is only 1/6 of Earth's. If nothing was done, the reduced gravity would cause his bones to be weaker than normal human ones. But you prepared for that.
Interesting.
You gave him that armor.
I see.
Ever since he was born,
That's
he's lived inside of it.
that's why his little memories, he had the little armor.
It kept his muscles and bones strong. He wasn't forced into it for the nonary game. He's been wearing it every day, all his life.
But why would future me create a clone?
He was to be your spare. If something happened to you before the project began, he would take your place. I mentioned before that the AB projects A and B stood for after and before. That isn't all they mean, though. The A also means anima, and the B means body. Anima is another word for the soul or the consciousness. Body is, well, exactly what it says on the tin. The past consciousness will go into the future body, and the future consciousness will go into the past body. They switch. That was the chief goal of the project.
Wait, so the future person goes into the past person?
Sigma, do you remember the note you found in the garden?
You mean this, right?
Yes. Ah, of course, it was you who investigated the garden in this timeline.
Yeah.
Sigma, take a good look at this. It's an illustration of the time jumps your consciousness is making. A is where everything began. December 25th, 2028. You inhaled the white smoke in your car and lost consciousness.
You know, I think the ultimate mystery of this game is going to be why the CG for this is like this. Like, they could have placed the camera anywhere, and they picked between his legs.
From there, you jumped to B. January 25th, 2074. You woke up in one of the AB rooms in Rhizome 9. You are in your own body, but it is 67 years old. Your consciousness has jumped 45 years into the future. I believe that may explain why you didn't notice the reduced lunar gravity. The body you woke up in was much older. Normally, you would have noticed that your muscles were much weaker. In this case, however, the lower gravity balanced that out. Moving on, if you continue along this line, what happens next? You reach C, which is January 27th, 2074. That is today.
Whoa. Wait, what do you mean? Are you saying it's been 2 days since we woke up?
36 hours to be exact. Have you already forgotten? You were all infected with Radical 6. The virus slowed your brain down. So yes, 36 hours of real time have passed. But to you, it only seemed like 14 hours and 40 minutes. Now comes the important part. After this, your consciousness will return to the past. It will re-emerge at point D. April 13th, 2029. You will return to your younger body.
But that's the same day as the reactor explosions.
Yes. That is why I said it will be too late. You will return to the past, but the events you would want to prevent will have already happened. The story does not end there, however. The line continues. After reaching point D, you will eventually return to B. But this time, you won't be jumping through time, or at least not at a rate faster than normal. Your consciousness will spend 45 years inhabiting the same body, until you reach point B. Do you remember when B is, Sigma?
January 25th, 2074. According to what you just told us, it's 36 hours ago.
Correct. That was when the consciousness of the 22-year-old Sigma jumped into the body of 67-year-old Sigma. So where did the older version of you go when you took his body?
Point A. December 25th, 2028. The day all of this started.
Yes. His consciousness will go back in time 45 years. For a period of time, he will inhabit your younger body. While your younger consciousness is elsewhere, he will be you in the past.
But once that body reaches point C, my 22-year-old consciousness will come back from point C.
That's correct. When that happens, the older version of you will be ejected from your younger body and return to your body at sea.
So it's rotating?
Rotating. I suppose you could put it that way. But look at this illustration closely. What if you take all these lines and untangle them? You get one single line. It may look complicated, but in truth, it's a single straight path, with one exception.
The line here on point E, right?
Exactly. Point E is December 31st, 2028, the day of the total eclipse.
The day Radical 6 got out of the test facility.
Yes. By now, you've likely figured it out on your own. The purpose of the AB project was to get the consciousness of the 67-year-old Sigma from point B to point A. If we can do that, we can change what happened 45 years ago.
So the old version of me will keep Radical 6 from getting out by jumping into my 22-year-old body on New Year's Eve 2028?
Yes. That is why this line could not be interrupted. In order for the 67-year-old version of you to reach point B, we first have to go through point D. In order to get to point D, we must jump from point C. And for point C to happen, we had to recreate everything that happened in this facility. That is why we have faithfully retraced history up to this point, so that we might save humankind from destruction and undo the horrors of the last 45 years.
Tell me one thing.
What is that?
You said the point C is January 27th, 2074, which is today. There's going to be a jump, and I'll jump to April 13th, 2029.
Yes, that's right.
But look, I'm still old. When is this jump supposed to happen?
Very soon.
Soon?
Yes.
And what's going to trigger it?
We need potential energy stored to send your consciousness into the fourth dimension. Fortunately, we now have plenty of that. Thanks, ironically, to Radical 6. All that remains is to launch your consciousness, like a bullet from a slingshot.
And how do you propose to do that?
Didn't I tell you? A crisis. A moment balanced between life and death. That can jumpstart your brain.
What do you mean?
You haven't figured it out. I mean this.
Dio's knife? No sooner were the words out of my mouth. Fee! I screamed and leapt toward them. Akane was already in motion, the knife diving toward Fee's chest. I was almost there. When I regained consciousness, I was on the floor. There was a dull pain in my chest. I felt for a cut, but something was in the way. It took me a moment to realize that it was Akane's body, lying on top of me. I twisted my neck to look around. Nearby was an old tombstone. On it was written a few words in Latin. Tu ego eris. What you are, I was. What I am, you will be. Uh-huh. Alright. I don't really know what to say, man. The whole age change thing, it does explain why Sigma doesn't have a voice actor. Because if Sigma had a proper voice actor, you would hear the age, you know? I guess not that Temioji necessarily sounds like an elderly man, but like, you know what I mean, right? Well, I guess he technically does because of the hologram, but like, yeah. And I do remember how I found out about Sigma actually being... Oh, yeah, I remember. I decided to see... I wanted to look up how old Sigma was, because, like, man, he should be, like, around my age, right? Yeah. With any other character, that would have been an innocent thing to search up. Fortunately, just knowing he was an old man didn't really spoil anything. You could explain it away with Sigma's perception, blah blah blah, but him not having a VA was a much smarter decision. Yeah, especially since, like, Zero having, like, the hologram thing, that also would have been a giveaway. Now you know why they kept calling him an old man? I mean, I kind of already knew because, like I said, I looked up his age because I was curious, so... Fee ending. A new destination has been added to the flowchart. Wow, shocking. I mean, everyone calls me old even though you're not even 30 yet, because you are old. Freaking babies, a lot of you. Oh, it's way over there. That's not where I was expecting the true ending to be. Like, Okay, well, I guess that's where we're at. I guess it makes sense, given what we were just told, but... Headquarters, April 13th, 2029. Here we go.
Today is April 13th, 2029, and this is the evening news. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't have any news to read. All of our station's reporters have passed after contracting Radical 6. So have my... Excuse me. I've managed to keep us on the air until now. But I'm out of tricks. It's time for me to sign off. This concludes our broadcast day. I pray that someday our world can be cleansed of this horrible plague.
It's time for the news. I quit. Good luck getting the news. Bye.
Goodbye.
Oh. Well. For a moment I just stared at the TV. The roar of the static seemed to fill the entire room, until with a click it disappeared too. Had the power gone out? I heard footsteps behind me. I turned around. Well, she technically quit. I mean, yeah. What is this, Danganronpa? You. How can I?
It looks like the first step was successful.
What the fuck? You killed me!
Killed?
I guess technically you're going to kill me 45 years from now, but still!
Hey, no need to be rude about it. I didn't kill you. I hit you with the butt of the knife. You're fine.
I'm okay.
Yes. You and Phi needed to experience a state of crisis. That was the only way.
Me and Fee?
Yes. I only told you about you, but we also needed Phi to jump. Now, you know what happens next, right?
We go to the moon?
Correct. We will be leaving tomorrow, April 14th, 2029. We've nearly finished preparing your shuttle. Only a few last-minute checks and additions.
You'll be traveling to Rhizome 9, along with 3 treatment pods.
Alice and Clover, right?
Yes,
What about the third one? Who's in there?
Phi.
Makes sense.
We put her into cold sleep 2 days ago. She appeared at our headquarters and volunteered to be frozen. That wasn't the Phi who jumped from Point C, though. It was Phi before she jumped from Point A to Point D. In other words, she was following the same path you are, and she still is.
Then that means that after you froze her, the Point C version of her jumped back into her body?
Yes. The Point C version of Phi is sleeping in that pod. She'll stay there for the next 45 years, sleeping in ice.
Then when she gets to Point B, her consciousness will jump to Point A, right?
Correct.
Huh. So that's why she didn't look old. So why don't you just stick me in one of those pods?
We can't do that.
Why not?
You haven't figured it out? You have to spend the next 45 years working on the AB project. After arriving at Rhizome 9, you must master genetic engineering and artificial intelligence programming, among other disciplines. Otherwise, you will be unable to create Kyle, Luna, and Lagomorph. And, of course, you will need to develop the chromatic doors and the bracelets. You will also be the person who summons Tenmyoji and Quark. Once you've completed all the preparations, then the project can actually begin. January 25th, 2074. You will defrost Phi and carry her to the 3rd AB room. Once you've done that, the 22-year-old version of you from Point A will force you out, and you'll just go back 45 years to your own body on December 25th, 2028.
And then I change history? Do you really think I can keep the virus from getting out?
You have to. If you don't, billions of people will die.
Man, it was like just earlier today where I had to save billions of people in a video game. What are the odds?
Only you and Phi can save them.
What about you? Aren't you an Esper too?
I can't do anything on my own. If this is going to work, I'll need your help.
So, what do I need to do?
What do you mean?
Like, what specific actions do I need to take? When Fee and I jump to Point A, what are we going to do then?
You'll both enter the Mars mission test site.
And after that?
I don't know.
Promising. What?
I'm sorry. I really don't know anything about what happens in there. We don't know how the Radical Six escaped. We don't even know why it was there in the first place.
Oh, crap. Well, then we're screwed.
That's why we need your help. You have the ability to jump through time and across parallel worlds. We need you to figure out what happened in that test facility.
Oh, is that the plot of Zero Time Dilemma?
Things will be difficult. And I'm sure you will find yourself in a great deal of danger. But I believe the two of you can overcome any obstacle.
Wait, how do you know it's so dangerous?
The 67-year-old version of you told me what happened. He wasn't able to stop the virus. So I suppose you could say you told me after you failed.
What did I say?
That the test facility is full of traps.
The little smiley face you sent Relix, so that I'm right. I'm right, that's what Zero Time Dilemma is about, huh?
There was one point. A woman's life was in danger.
That's such an ominous colon 3. I feel like half the time colon 3s are.
You risked yourself for her sake, and lost your arms and your right eye.
My arms and my right eye. What the hell? I was wondering when this CG would come up, because I've seen this one a lot. in like the screen caps for VLR. Nice to finally have the context. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the building. Looks. What was that?
Go have a look.
I moved slowly to the window and peered outside. On the horizon, I could see a massive mushroom cloud climbing slowly toward the sky. The context is future Sigma left, past Sigma present. Robot hands. But would we really be able to change the course of history? No, that was the wrong way to look at it. It couldn't be a question. I had to change history. We could save the world. I'm going to change history. I stared at the darkening skies above us and steeled myself. I would succeed. End or beginning? Yeah, end of this one, beginning of the next game. And yeah, that's it. This is the full flowchart if you ask. Oh, nope, there's stuff over here. Hello. Infirmary, another time. I barely noticed that.
Where?
Hello, voice acting. Fuck yeah, I'm free.
I see you've finally woken up, Kyle.
Kyle.
Ah, yes. Of course. You've only just woken up in this timeline. It's only natural for some of your memories to be missing.
I lurched upright, jumped off the bed, and ran around to the other side of the partition. The mirror over the sink was covered with a film of dirt. I wiped it off with my sleeve, and my reflection stared back at me. There was no mistake. The reflection belonged to...
Kyle Climb. So, I'm Dr. Climb? Zero Senior's clone?
What? How do you know that? Shouldn't you still be suffering from amnesia?
An excellent question, one I didn't quite know the answer to myself. I knew who Kyle Climb was. In another history, he had been called K and had worn a suit of armor. He hadn't just worn the armor in that history, though. Apparently he'd worn it all his life. Kyle had been born and raised in this lunar installation, which seemed to be called Rhizome 9. Rather late in his life, Akane had appeared as a mother figure, and he had consequently grown very attached to her. I knew everything about him, but even though I knew it, I didn't feel it. Was I really Kyle Climb? Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw his face. The spitting image of Sigma Climb in his younger days. I looked down. There was Dio, still handcuffed. I turned it back around to Luna.
What day is today?
January 27th, 2074.
And today is the last day of the AB project. Akane has explained everything in the garden. And she drew a knife and attacked Phi. How long have I been asleep?
About 5 hours in real time. For them, it would have seemed like a little more than 2 hours.
So they still haven't been treated for their Radical 6?
No, they've all been given the antiviral. It just takes a while to have an effect.
I see. So the consciousness of the younger Sigma has gone back into the past. It should have happened right after Akane attacked Phi, right?
Yes.
Why am I here?
The doctor carried you back here. You were in the pod in the garden.
So the person you call the doctor is Sigma Climb, as inhabited by his age-appropriate consciousness.
Yes, but... how do you know that?
Dio seems to have remained unconscious.
Yes, I've been administering Soparil whenever he gets restless.
What about the others?
They've all gone off to different areas. Tenmyoji and Quark, for instance.
Oh, right! Mr. Klein!
So the sleepyhead's finally up, huh?
What are you two doing here?
You don't know where we are?
This is the upper floor of the pressure exchange chamber. The real one.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to get dressed and head out.
You plan to return then? To Earth, I mean.
Yeah.
Sigma told us where we could find the shuttle that brought us here. Well, guess he's not really the Sigma I knew anymore. He's Dr. Klein now, or Zero Senior, depending on how you look at it.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Well, I'm just curious why you would choose to return to a devastated planet when you could stay here.
How's staying here gonna help? You aren't gonna say something idiotic about how we should wait here until Sigma changes the past, are you? You can't wait for something that's already happened. Grammar doesn't work that way. Hell, nature doesn't work that way. You following me? We've already lived through history. Sigma failed to keep the virus from getting out. About 45 years ago, Radical 6 created a pandemic, and the antimatter reactors blew up. That all happened. Whatever Sigma does in the past, history's not gonna change. In fact, it's because of what he did, or didn't do in the past, that we've got this past and present. Let me give you an example. Imagine a group of 100 motorcycles driving down an endless freeway. Eventually, they hit a junction. The road splits in two. One freeway continues off northwest, and the other stretches out to the northeast. So one guy, we'll call him S, pipes up. "Let's go northwest," he says. So they take the northwestern road, but about a mile past the intersection, something horrible happens. A semi driving the other way veers into their lane and plows through the bikers. 90 of them die.
That's a lot of bikers.
The surviving 10 are wounded, but survive. They don't stop, though.
Did he address 100 bikers and I didn't pay attention? Okay, yeah, he did say 100 motorcycles. Okay.
They keep riding down that highway, and eventually they'd gone 10,000 miles. Then suddenly, something happens that they couldn't have predicted. S, who had survived, suddenly has his consciousness thrown back in time. He ends up back in his own body just before they reach the junction. He remembers everything. So what does S do? What anybody would do. Let's go northeast. That means all 100 of the bikers survive to reach their destination, happy and healthy, and they all live happily ever after. That's what you're thinking, right? It's a great outcome for the 100 bikers that went northeast. But what about the 10 that went northwest and survived the accident?
Huh? Wouldn't it be 9 people? I mean, S's mind went back in time, right?
Right. Okay, 9 people then. What happens to the reality they were living? Does it just disappear when S changes the past? It's not as if it was only bad things that happened during that 10,000-mile trip. Maybe one of them fell in love with a woman working at a gas station they stopped at and had a child. Maybe one of them picked up a homeless kid who joined them on their adventure. That 10,000-mile journey would be full of stories. Friendships, farewells, romances. The loss of those 90 lives is horrible and unfortunate. But what would rewriting their history mean? The 9 who survived lived full lives. How can it be right to just erase all that? The survivors overcame their own misery and loss and made the best they could of the hand they'd been dealt. Isn't that worth something? Isn't that the best thing that humans can aspire to? Is there really any point to a world where everything is happy? Are people who struggle for a better life just idiots? Being human is about fighting even when it seems hopeless, and finding happiness even in a world that hates it.
Wouldn't it be despairful to be in a world without despair?
Are you saying that's worthless. If you're saying rewriting the past will erase all these other timelines, then whatever God wrote those rules can Look, I'm just not going to accept that, alright?
You realized that he was saying, it's like, wait, there's an actual child. Maybe not.
You get it?
If Sigma changes the past, then you and Quark will never meet.
Is he right?
No, it's not going to happen. We're here right now. This is reality. Even if Sigma does change the past, we're not just going to disappear or something.
Oh! Then that means we get to stay together? Good.
Thanks, kid.
No.
I understand how you feel. Why you want to return to Earth is clear. You have lives there, I imagine. There are likely people waiting for you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Have you already said goodbye to the others?
Vi, Luna, Alice, and Clover all saw us off. We told them we'd see them again someday, and then came here.
They were the only people you want to say goodbye to?
Well, no point saying anything to Dio.
Fair.
Besides, he's asleep. You were asleep too.
Sorry, but we didn't really know much about you.
You have a point. Akane was in the armor in this timeline, after all. What about Sigma?
Well, he's not really Mr. Sigma anymore.
Of course. He is Dr. Klein now that his consciousness has returned.
Yeah, but more importantly, he's the guy who brought us all here. Not a lot of warm feelings there, you know?
And Akane?
Never mind her. She's just like him. Not the Akane I knew. She must have seen some pretty awful things over the years. Hell, she might not even be human anymore. But the Akane Kurashiki I know isn't here. She's not anywhere.
Mm.
In the end, Clover and I were just pawns. Pawns to be used and then gotten rid of. Still, it's not like we're completely resentful. We had to be here to help change the past. That part's easy to understand. But
Kinda sucks, though. I mean, Sigma and Vi have it easy.
Do they now?
They get to go back to December 25th in 2028. They'll stop the Radical Six and save the world, and then they'll have a nice, normal future to look forward to. In other words, they get to go back to Point E and just enjoy history like it was supposed to happen.
But we don't. We're stuck with Point C as our starting point.
You told us about Tenmyoji's story, right? The one with the motorcycles? It would be like if Alice and I were kidnapped right before the intersection. Then whoever grabbed us takes us to wherever the bikers are going, 10,000 miles to the northwest.
Don't get us wrong. We know why we had to be here. Without us, S's consciousness wouldn't have been able to go back to right before the intersection.
If that couldn't happen, then the fate of those 90 dead bikers would be sealed. But
it's still not the best situation for those of us left in the Northwest. We're stuck in the reality where the 90 bikers died.
are we just supposed to go live on Earth? It's a wasteland now. And what about our friends and families? We left a whole world behind 45 years ago.
Even if it is for the greater good?
It just doesn't seem fair, does it?
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
So we went and talked to the old lady.
She told us that there is one way.
One way we could get back to the past.
Let's say you do go back to the past. Wouldn't that cause your minds to get thrown back here? That seemed to be how Sigma and Phi's jumps worked, at least.
Yes, you're right.
But this is different.
Different? How so?
From what she said, it sounds like there's a way we can send our bodies back in time, too.
That's ridiculous. It would create a paradox.
Time machine.
How could you have two Clovers and two Alices at the same time?
But that wouldn't happen.
Akane says there's a way around that.
Mm-hmm.
How on earth does she plan to do that?
Schrodinger's
cat.
Right. Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, Kyle. Figured you'd come here eventually.
Where's Dr. Klein? Luna said you were with him.
He said he was tired, so he's off resting right now. There's a bedroom at the end of the hallway. He's in there if you're curious. Oh, right. He told me to turn on this hologram projector thing when you showed up. Want me to start it?
Sure.
Glad to see you. There isn't anything in particular that I have to tell you. However, I imagine there are a great number of things weighing on your mind. I'd love to answer all your questions, but unfortunately, my circumstances make that an impossibility. I hope you can forgive me. Everything I know, Phi should also know. I have instructed her to answer any questions anyone might have. Anyone other than Kyle, that is.
What does he mean, other than Kyle?
Who knows? Is there anything you want to ask?
Oh, right, well, I guess I may as well cut to the chase. Just who are you, Phi?
I'm not Superman, that's for sure.
Thanks. I never would have guessed that one. You definitely look very identical to Superman. I'm sure you understand the confusion.
And I'm not Batman or Spider-Man or Aquaman or a merman or a wolfman.
Do you want to list some female superheroes at least? Equality?
I'm not a Brahmin or Kamen or Ramen. I'm not a Cayman either, so you really don't need to worry about anything.
All right.
Please don't dodge the question. About 5 hours ago, Akane attacked you with a knife. That triggered something which sent your mind back to the past, correct? Specifically, you were sent to Point D, April 13th, 2029. On that date, your body was already in Akane's custody. Although by then you were in cold sleep. You wouldn't have regained consciousness, but your mind was now inhabiting that body. That pod was your home for 45 years. You slept there, frozen, until the time was right. Then on January 25th, 2074, you were finally thawed out, even though you didn't wake up. Still unconscious, you were carried to the AB room. That was when your consciousness changed bodies again. A version of you from December 25th, 2028 arrived, pushing you out and sending you back to December 25th, 2028. This is when you finally woke up. In 2028, you found and joined forces with Sigma, whose older mind was inhabiting his younger body. Together, you attempted to infiltrate the Mars mission test facility. Fortunately, your plan failed. The Radical Six did escape on New Year's Eve. That failure determined the path you followed. Instead of going along the line that branches out to the right from Point E, you headed straight to Point D. Point D being April 13th of the following year. That was the day that you made your way to Akane's hideout and asked to be put into one of the treatment pods. Another consciousness enters your body around that time from the future. It is, of course, the version of you that left your body when Akane attacked you in the garden. This caused the two versions of you to swap places. And you moved 45 years into the future, where you woke up on the garden floor. That put you on the line that comes here. So if we discount the time you spent in cold sleep, for you, only 3.5 months have passed since that happened. That being when you were sent back into the past from the garden. Have I missed anything?
No, everything you talked about you got right.
Well, what do you mean by that?
I'm kind of an unknown variable in this equation. You could think of me as a kind of X factor. It's taken me the last 3.5 months to understand it.
I haven't understood anything in the last 3.5 seconds.
Fucking weird. Me too, Kyle.
Could you please explain?
It's kind of like the relationship between classical mechanics and modern physics. Strictly speaking, you can't combine velocities with v1 plus v2. v1 plus v2 divided by 1 plus v1 times v2 over c squared is the actual equation. Of course, the sort of velocities we encounter in day-to-day life don't come close to being c squared, which is the speed of light squared. That means that 1 plus V1 times V2 divided by C squared is usually going to evaluate to something pretty close to 1. Since that would mean dividing by 1, it's usually okay to just skip that step and use V1 plus V2. You see what I'm saying? In most situations it works, even if it isn't technically correct. So you knew enough to get the stuff you were talking about, right? As long as you stick to that, you won't run into any problems.
I don't quite understand. In fact, I feel like you're dodging my questions.
So was that what you wanted to ask about?
No. What I really want to know is what happened between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028. You and Sigma infiltrated the Mars mission test site, didn't you?
Yes.
What happened there? How did Sigma lose his eye and both his arms? And why was Radical 6 in there in the first place? What could a deadly virus have to do with the simulated mission to space?
Sorry, but I can't tell you that.
You have to play Zero Time Dilemma to find out.
Why?
Because it would change history.
Yeah, that's the plot for the next game.
There is a history where the virus didn't escape. That's the line that goes to the right of point E. In that timeline, humanity isn't heading for annihilation, and Earth isn't red. The future is much brighter. But if I tell you what you're asking me right now, then that reality will disappear. You understand?
I don't. Why would all of that disappear if you told me what I want to know?
You're about to go back to the past, right?
The past? Don't be silly. I can't do that.
Then where the hell did you learn all this stuff? I just listened to you tell me a bunch of things you shouldn't have known about. You were sleeping in the pod in the garden. You just woke up. So how can you know all this? You know my past. Sigma's past.
I shall give you your answer. You are not Kyle Klein. Your body is Kyle's, but your consciousness is not.
Oh boy.
Think about it. Do you really believe you're Kyle? Or could you be someone else entirely?
A player of a video game.
Then, where is the real Kyle's consciousness?
I love becoming question mark.
He was thrown out when you entered. Right now, in a manner of speaking, he has arrived at December 25th, 2028.
Naturally.
His consciousness has gone into a body from that time.
Interesting.
I doubt you know how much the doctor loves Kyle. He raised him on his own. Kyle is irreplaceable. Do you really think he would go back to the past and leave Kyle behind here? I know what I told the others, that Kyle was Dr. Klein's spare, but that was not his only purpose.
Of course not. Why would it be?
Kyle's consciousness is integral to what we are trying to accomplish. This new mission begins on Christmas and ends on New Year's Eve 2028. Its purpose will be to infiltrate the test facility and prevent the spread of the virus. For this to happen, Kyle is absolutely necessary.
And that is why he created him?
Yes.
So now that my consciousness has entered his body, the doctor has achieved his objective. Kyle has gone back to 2028 to participate in his mission.
Correct.
There's one thing that troubles me.
Yeah.
Kyle was created before reaching point B from point D. That means his body did not exist on Christmas in 2028.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
Does that mean he has entered my body?
Most likely.
Have we just switched places?
I suppose you could put it that way, yes.
That's ridiculous. What's going to happen to me?
Great question.
You telling me I have to spend the rest of my life here in this box, living in a borrowed body?
I guess so. That's your fate now, whoever you are.
No, not at all.
Oh.
You can travel freely through time and space.
Huh.
You are an uncontrolled variable that entered our closed system.
Okay.
As such, the rules of this world do not apply to you.
Uh-huh.
I have no idea what...
Please don't try to play dumb.
I'm not playing, I just am dumb, Akane.
I know what you are.
I don't know what I am.
Surely you must know by now, too.
A VTuber.
You are about to go into the past and save the world.
Ah, Zero Time Dilemma. Got it.
Phi and Sigma, even with all of his future knowledge, will need your help. Only you can right the horrible wrongs of our past. Only you can save the world.
There's no way I...
Yes, there is.
No pressure or anything.
You have to. Don't you want to know the truth? Don't you want to know what happened in between Christmas and New Year's Eve in 2028?
I mean, sure, but can you at least tell me who or what I am?
Well, yes, I do, but...
Then you must believe. Reality is shaped by what we believe reality should be. If observation can change the motion of a particle, then how is it odd to think that human thought can shape reality? Your will can change history. The world will be reshaped into the one you imagine.
Uh-huh.
Remember what I've told you. Only you can change history. Only you can save the world.
You're not gonna tell me who I am? Oh, okay. Alternative. Semicolon end. I play too many games with the semicolon. I'm sorry, we're still playing a science adventure game? Maybe. Perhaps. Okay. So that's the quote-unquote Akane ending in a way. Interesting. Well, this is a very full flowchart, methinks. Yeah. What else is there? It doesn't look like there's anything else except for Zero Time Dilemma. Yeah. Seems like just Zero Time Dilemma. No, please, thank you. Let me out. Let me out. I hate that the game is like this. Thank you. No, I don't want to save. I just restarted the game when I didn't want to. But yeah, I guess that's that. I wonder if I got all of the achievements. I don't think I have. That was underwhelming. It really was. All you remembered was the garden. You didn't think it ended like that. Yeah, that's fair, honestly. Like, on one hand, I'm kind of glad that it sets us up perfectly to then go into, Zero Time Dilemma. Like, that I do appreciate. However, it does feel incomplete on its own, which does kind of suck because a person could play 999 and then not touch the other two games and be able to live life, you know? Which isn't horrible, just a little disappointing. Congrats, you have 2 perfect games now. Nah. Or, okay, never mind, I do have all the achievements. Oh. Your favorite is 999. You much prefer that art style. I honestly really like the art style in 999 too, so I was like a little disappointed with the shift to the 3D. It makes sense because it came out of the 3DS, but... You know, apparently I did 100% the Zero Escape the Nonary games. It just took 81 hours, most of it being VLR. Damn. I honestly wasn't expecting to 100% it. 3D allows them to do a lot more with the puzzles. Yeah. I still think I preferred the puzzles in 999. I don't remember them that well, but I don't remember, like, struggling nearly as much as I did with the other ones. So I still wonder who the fuck we were, but I guess we'll find out in the next game. Which actually, roughly according to how long to beat, how long does it take to play that one? Let's see. Howlongtobeat.com. Zero Escape. Okay, it seems like Zero Time Dilemma is shorter than Virtue's Last Reward, but longer than 999, which makes sense. It does set up a pretty good opening for Zero Time Dilemma though, so I guess I'm not totally mad at the ending, even though it feels like you have to play Zero Time Dilemma in order to feel, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Either way, we're gonna be playing it. It almost makes me wish we were playing it, like, literally next week, just because of the way this ended. But filler, because I'd like to start all my games all at once when I have the chance, and we're finishing yet another game tomorrow. So, but, yeah, thank you all so much for joining me in finishing Zero Escape as Virtue's Last Reward. But yeah, if you guys have any further thoughts that you would like to share in about the game, you can do that in the Discord or in the YouTube comments if you're watching the YouTube video. Where are my birds? I still want to know what is going on with Santa, because Santa has just gone out of the picture, and you would think he would be more relevant, especially since Akane is relevant, and they both kind of disappeared at the same time. But no mentions of Santa, so I'm, like, a little confused about that. Maybe the person's consciousness that ended up in Kyle was Santa, but I don't know. You want an update on Snake too? Honestly, same, because, like, it's been 45 years. We at least knew what he was doing post-game, as far as Clover was aware, before she got kidnapped, but... And 7 and really the whole cast. Honestly, yeah, you're right. But, like, I think Santa sticks out to me because we know what's going on with Akane, and we both know they disappear together, so, like... Hello? But you're alright, an update on the whole cast would be helpful and good. I'm pretty sure Junpei is in, Zero Time Dilemma, so I'm kind of curious as to how he gets into it all, but... All you know is that the little red-haired girl and was your favorite because she was the first to unexpectedly kill you in 999. That's fair. You sure Ace is doing something fittingly ironic? Probably. Yeah, I don't think I have any other thoughts in my head. I think the game otherwise wrapped itself up pretty well, other than, like, being like, hey, now you have to play Zero Time Dilemma. And I feel like that might be part of why some people, like, why Zero Time Dilemma I've heard is kind of a mixed bag on whether or not people like it. But, who knows. One could say that Clover had an axe to grind. But anyways, once again, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to catch you all next time. I'm so good at words, I'm so, eloquent. Anyways, until next time, bye-bye everyone!